The darkness was broken by the rays of sunlight outside the Autobot outpost Omega-1 hidden base on the planet Earth. The young nephew of the leader of the Autobots, Optimus Prime, Romibot, who was roaming in a circle while Ratchet was checking the coordinates, detecting Decepticons in sight. Romibot had a feeling he never felt before. A feeling that made him feel completely different about himself. A feeling that made him think that he wasn't on Earth. Around 7.5 hours later, Romibot still had that same feeling, which was beginning to worry Ratchet. "Romibot," sighed the Autobot medic, "you've been roaming around in circles for 7.5 hours. I have a feeling that something is going on with you." The curious Autobot stopped his motion for a while, because he realized that Ratchet was concerned about him. "You really have to worry about me, Ratchet?" Romibot questioned. "Whatever you're thinking, it's not about the exploding sop monkeys that Miko and Bulkhead were watching on TV last night. The night when Bulkhead and his human friend were watching that program which Ratchet forbidden them to watch. Even though I told them not to watch that show, it doesn't bother me right now. All that I wonder is, why are you in that strange mood for the last 8 months, and today I want a full answer from you. Right now," Ratchet demanded. Suddenly, Romibot came up with an answer that Ratchet wasn't really expecting. "Well, Ratchet, the feeling I've been getting," Romibot responded in a nervous way, "it's just one of these feelings that I can't really figure out." After the answer was received, the expression of the medic's face made Romibot think that Ratchet wasn't expecting an answer like that. But instead of going crazy, the medic gave the young Autobot a slight smile and nervously said, "Fair enough. Stuff like this takes time, my boy. So if you want to talk about it, I'm always here." After the suggestion was given, Ratchet turned around and got back to his work. Romibot still thought that he couldn't figure out what was bothering him in his mind. Meanwhile, at the Decepticon ship, the niece of Lord Megatron, leader of the Decepticons, Julicon, was analyzing how her evil, dark-hearted uncle treated his troops, with disrespect and hatred. To be fair, Julicon never wanted to be like her uncle. She was the sort of robot that was completely different from the rest. She had a bright personality, and sometimes tried to treat others with respect, but got scolded by her uncle. The only con that got on Julicon's nerves was Knockout. The reasons why the Decepticon medic got on her bad side was that he was pretty much in love with her, despite that all Decepticons hated each other. The other reason why she didn't like the medic, because for the last 8 months he tried to ask her for her metal hand in marriage. The truth was, Julicon didn't really want to marry a crazy medic. "Oh, Julicon!" shouted Knockout, but she pretended to ignore him. "Hey, don't ignore me! Julicon!" he shouted again, and finally Julicon turned towards Knockout, who was skipping towards her. "What do you want now, Knockout?" Julicon asked. You know what I always want," the medic replied with a slight snarl. "Dearie me," the annoyed female con groaned. "Is something wrong?" asked the mental medic. "Yes!" she shouted. "How long are you keeping up with this?" "Keeping up with what?" "You know what it is. Don't act like you don't know." Suddenly Knockout figured out what was bugging Julicon, but instead of stopping on what he was doing, he went down on one knee and held Julicon's left hand, asking, "Julicon," he sighed, "this may be the last time that I'll ask you this. Will you marry me?" Julicon really wanted to say no, but to stay on Knockout's good side, she answered by saying, "Well, I'm not so sure right now, but I'll think about it." After Knockout heard those words, his evil grin turned into a surprised expression. "You said that for the last 5 months. It just seems like you can't make your mind up," the medic muttered. "Well, sometimes things like this take time and can't be rushed," Julicon explained. But she could tell that Knockout was never going to stop, but ending up saying, "Fair enough, my dear. But just in case you change your mind, I'll give you 5 weeks to give me an answer," and walked away. Julicon was feeling anxious about what Knockout said. "I pretty much thought that he would finally stop his strange behavior," she thought, "but I guess not." The next day, Julicon was still thinking about what Knockout said. She figured out what Knockout meant when he was wanting her so badly. What is the meaning of this marriage? Is it an emotion when one is in a bright mood? Is it a sign of hope that the Decepticons will end war? It can't be any of them, Julicon thought. She was starting to think that her uncle allowed Knockout to propose to her. So she went off to find Megatron, who was strolling down the hallway, which she decided to tag along. "Good morning, Julicon. Glad to see you up early," Megatron said to his niece. "Morning, Uncle. Pretty much early. So I see you want to talk to me." "Yes, Uncle. It's about Knockout." "It's about the last 5 months?" "Yes, Uncle. Why does he want to marry me so badly?" "By the way, what is this marriage about?" "Let me explain. Marriage is a commitment that a couple, which a man and a lady and their families, get together in a certain location to tell the world that the man and lady's love is strong and will last forever." I understand the meaning, but why does Knockout want me to marry him?" "The reason is that he has a high interest in you, the interest of love." "Since when?" "For a year." "A year? How do you know all of this? Did he even tell you?" "He did tell me. 5 months ago. The first proposal you refused." "Ever since that happened, he has been going crazy about it." Megatron was thinking that Julicon didn't really love Knockout as much as he did to her. In his opinion, Knockout would be the best husband for his niece, but Julicon couldn't really imagine herself being married to the Decepticon medic. Julicon was determined to tell her uncle what her true opinion was about the medic. "Uncle, to be honest with you, I don't really want to marry Knockout," she confessed, but her evil uncle bursted into fury. "Why? What is your reason for refusing?" "Well, I can explain. I feel a little uncomfortable with the situation." "Uncomfortable?" "Yes. I learned that marriages are not easy as snapping metal poles. They require commitment, love, selflessness, and care, which I see Knockout hasn't really ticked the boxes. I seek for a male bot who would tick every box for the perfect man for me." Megatron got even more furious that he realized that his niece refused to marry the bot he thought was right for her. "Despite you confessed your honesty to me, I can't really stop Knockout," Megatron mentioned. "Why not?" Julicon questioned. She was about to lose her temper if Megatron didn't come up with an answer. He replied, "I said that he had the permission to have your metal hand in marriage." "You really did that? You never even spoke to me about it." "I am the leader, and I decide if I allow you to get involved in stuff like this or not. I have many rights to get involved, because I'm the one who is getting dragged into an event that I'm not bothered about." The angry female bot stormed out of Megatron's sight, requesting Soundwave to activate the Decepticon ground bridge, which led Julicon into a location on Earth. "Why can't Megatron understand that I can make choices on my own?" Julicon thought. She soon discovered that she was in an energon location, which surprised her because the only energon she knew of was the blood of Julicon, which her uncle went mental on. The only thing that she had to be aware of was the Autobots that just arrived, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Bulkhead, RC, and also Romibot. She couldn't believe her eyes when she first caught the sight of Romibot. Is this true? She thought. Do my eyes deceive me? In Julicon's mind, she knew that Romibot was the man for her. She kept on glancing at the handsome Autobot until he noticed her in the distance, which she hid behind a rock. Without Optimus or anyone else looking, Romibot ran towards the rock that Julicon was hiding behind. Romibot found the female con at last. Julicon was shocked that she saw an Autobot up close. Romibot's first impression, seeing a female bot for the first time, was completely different to anyone else, because he was in love with her, and which Julicon was in love with him too. You'll probably be wondering why I'm here, right? Yeah, you know that I'm a Decepticon who is trying to take all this energon. So, I'll be getting off now. Oh, no, sorry. So, I'll be getting off, Julicon said nervously. She tried to crawl away, but Romibot grabbed her wrist and said, Please, don't leave. You're not one of them. I don't understand what you're getting at, Julicon pointed out. I'm not getting at anything. I'm just saying you're nothing like the Decepticons. What is making you say this? I'm not an amazing Autobot like you are. I'm just a destructive Decepticon. You are not. Nothing like them. You're beautiful outside as you are in the inside. Julicon was blushing by the compliment that Romibot said to her. Well, thank you very much, but you shouldn't be here, she snapped. Romibot understood that the beautiful female con wasn't used to compliments. What's wrong? Nothing is wrong. It's just that I've never spoke to anyone outside the Decepticon ship. You are joking. I'm serious. If that's the case, who do you even talk to? My Uncle Megatron, Lord of the Decepticons. Whoa! By the Allspark. Are you the niece of him? Which I mean, Lord Megatron. Just say that you are. Yes, I am. Leave me if you want. That's what everybody else does. I won't. You won't? Of course. I would never say it if it was a lie. The more that Julicon heard Romibot's sweet voice, the more that she was in love with him, and same thing with Romibot, only he loved her voice. Suddenly, everything was silent. It was a sign that Romibot and Julicon would make their first kiss, until Starscream called her. Julicon! Where are you? Megatron has been searching for you. Starscream yelled. Julicon groaned slightly and requested for the ground bridge, which appeared in front of her. Julicon started to walk towards the glowing circle until Romibot asked her, When will I see you again? Julicon was a little confused because she thought she wouldn't be able to get the chance to see the love of her life, the fault being Knockout. And she replied, I'm not so sure, my love, but if tonight our moment won't be here. Romibot couldn't understand what Julicon meant, but decided to meet his love tonight. Goodbye, my love, Julicon called out to Romibot, throwing a kiss at him. After Julicon left, Romibot realized that the strange feeling he had been getting was being in love with Julicon. Is this strange feeling I've been getting for the last 8 months? Am I really in love? Was I this feeling all this time? He thought. The Autobot in love felt like he wasn't he was in a dream of expectations, but the reality outside was calling him, which in fact was his Uncle Optimus Prime. "Romibot!" he shouted. Eventually Romibot ran down to his uncle. "Where have you been?" he questioned. Romibot replied with a sigh, "In a dream," as he was skipping into the ground bridge. Later that night, Romibot was still thinking about the female con that he met behind the rock. While he was still thinking, his good friend Bulkhead was concerned about Romibot, so he came up to him and asked, "Hey Romy, what did you find with the others?" Romibot walked off without an answer. Bulkhead really wanted to know what was going on with his friend, so he stopped in Romibot's path and stared into his glowing eyes, dragging him into the basement with the light on. "Aha! No way!" Bulkhead shouted. "What, Bulkhead?" Romibot questioned. "You met a girl?" "What? No, of course not." "Maybe." "Yes, I did. By the Allspark. I'm so happy for you. The nephew of Optimus Prime is in love." "Yes, Bulkhead, I am in love." "Give me details." "No, wait a sec. I'll guess who it is." RC? "No, of course not." RC overheard their conversation, giving a slight chuckle and a smile. "So, big NO on RC? Okay then, but I'll keep on guessing. Is it the lady on the news channel this morning? Jack's mom? Miko? Any other female Autobots? Lady Gaga? No, and big no." "Well, okay. No more guesses. Better idea. Details." "So what is this lady of yours like?" Bulkhead asked. "Well, the lady I met is really beautiful. She has a wonderful personality and the kindest girl I've ever met," Romibot replied. "Tell me more. Is she really tall?" "She's taller than RC, but a little shorter than me." "Is she on this Earth?" "Of course. And in a certain location far from here. She's a Decepticon." Sorry. After Romibot confessed the truth, Bulkhead was silent for a while. "Decepticon?" Bulkhead mumbled. Romibot nodded his head nervously. "You're right, Bulk?" he asked. Bulkhead started to scream like a little girl. The scream was so loud that Ratchet fell on his metal butt. "Bulkhead, calm down!" Romibot shouted. Ratchet slammed the door open. "By the Allspark is going on here?" he demanded. Bulkhead was shaking like he was cold. "Romibot, what is wrong with Bulkhead?" "Well, Ratchet, Bulkhead got freaked out because he saw a spider," Romibot responded nervously. "A spider?" "Yeah, Doc." Romibot pretended to kill the spider with his hand and gave the medic a smile. Ratchet's expression on his face showed that Bulkhead was getting scared over nothing. "Okay, Bulkhead, do not ever scream about small things again," Ratchet groaned. Then he walked away, getting back to work. Bulkhead closed the basement door, giving an angry look at Romibot. "What was the face, Bulk?" Romibot asked. Bulkhead replied with a slight moan, "Why'd you have to do this?" "Do what?" "You already know. Why'd you have to fall in love with the Decepticon?" "Bulk, you don't understand. Julicon is the one I love, and she's nothing like the other cons." "That's what she wants you to think. She only wants you to fall in love with her so she can get Megatron and his troops onto us, maybe trying to get rid of Optimus." "Do you want that to happen to your uncle?" Of course not. But I never felt love like this before. That is the reason why I was quiet for 8 months. That's why? Robot sensed that his love was waiting for him. My love waits for me, Robot said. I must go. Bulkhead shook his head because he didn't want his friend being seen with a con. No, I'm not allowing you to do this, Bulkhead shouted. Please, Bulkhead. This could be my only chance of love. If I don't take this chance, a moment like this may not happen again. You really think this is a chance to take? Ah, you have to be joking. I'm serious, Bulk. She doesn't want to harm me. All she wants is me by her side. So please, come with me. Oh. Okay then. I'll come with you, making sure that you're fine. Oh, thank you, Bulk. You're a great friend. Just don't tell my uncle about this. No problem. But who will open the ground bridge to lead you to your girlfriend? At that point, Romibot and Bulkhead couldn't decide who would open the ground bridge. Who's going to open the ground bridge? But Romibot panicked. We need somebody who can keep a secret, Bulkhead suggested. The two friends were still thinking about which Autobot would do the request, until a bot was chosen. Bumblebee, the two friends decided. Suddenly, Robot realized that he was going to be late. Things were hurried. Bumblebee opened the ground bridge. Optimus Prime noticed the ground bridge, asking his young scout, Bumblebee, who's going through the ground bridge? Before Bumblebee could answer his boss, Robot was skipping towards the ground bridge, singing like a little girl. Optimus stared at his nephew in a strange way, also noticing Bulkhead was running in the same path as Romibot. Bulkhead, where are you going? Prime demanded. Robot has been consuming too much sugar and has gone loopy, Bulkhead lied. Romibot, get back here! As he ran into the ground bridge, Optimus walked away waiting for his nephew's return. After Prime was gone, Bumblebee closed the ground bridge, and soon Robot will meet the love of his life. End of part 1.